into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
After Buzz Rocks. After Buzz Rocks. Maybe not as catchy as New Day Rocks with the song.
New
Good try.
Day socks.
New Day socks are for sale.
Sold out. No, they sold out.
Are they sold out?
They had them up for like a second, then they sold out again.
Well, they got to put them back on, but we are here to talk to you about Roadblock live on AfterBuzz TV. You're listening live on iTunes and SoundCloud. Watch on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page. Like, subscribe, 5 stars, tell friends, etc. You know the drill.
Call your
Welcome,
mama.
everybody. What was that?
Call your mama.
Call your mama, indeed. That too. What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Rosenberg. The Twitter, @Rue_Rosenberg. The Instagram, Rue Rosenberg. The T-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Fun-filled crew tonight. Pay-per-view crew is here.
Yeah.
Doing a little network special, which I guess is not a pay-per-view.
Well, none of them are
kinda
pay-per-views
was.
anymore.
They're just special events.
Well, because if you watch a pay-per-view, they will like if you had paid like a cable or satellite provider, and then you watch the actual pay-per-view, at some point they will literally berate you for paying that much money.
oh, of course.
Like they literally will at some point just be like, for those of you who paid DirecTV $55, you're an idiot.
By the way, the person that's shaming you for spending all that pay-per-view money is Steve Kaufman. It's Steve
You can
Kaufman.
find me at Steve Kaufman, Kaufmann. I shame DirecTV users almost daily.
The person next to you is your current, sadly enough, AfterBuzz Predictions champion.
One day.
But it makes up for it because he's wearing an awesome
Yay.
Daria Baronato t-shirt.
Daria.
The show
Daria.
says Daria.
Daria.
The show says Daria.
What show?
The show that she was on.
The show that we all covered.
Says Daria.
Wait,
But I'm
wait,
George
what?
Hermosa.
But that's
show-
George Hermosa.
Kind of, no.
The encyclopedia of
I was
sports
gonna say,
entertainment.
I'm gonna go next month just because I want to give everybody a chance to win. I'm gonna go with whatever I want to win or what I think is gonna win, and do the opposite. And then hopefully you win, because I know you don't know
It's
what
my
it's like.
WrestleMania
We
dream.
don't need you to do that.
It's my
Gina.
mania dream to win
So
that.
I'm literally gonna do the exact opposite of my instinct.
I am the Zack Ryder of AfterBuzz Predictions. I had a hot run about 3 years ago, and then haven't come close to a championship since.
Oh, honey, you're not nearly as annoying as Zack Ryder.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. By the way, at Chris Reports, that's Chrissy Olsen.
Hello.
Hi.
That's all she does. Hello.
I'm not wearing a Daria shirt. I'm wearing a Stephanie McMahon shirt.
She
Which
is.
isn't quite as cool.
No. We all got cool
No,
shirts on.
I was
Steve's got the Phila effin' Delphia shirt.
I was just hoping she was gonna point to her shirt like she
like
always
she does pretty much every week.
Yeah,
Learn my lesson.
but
Okay.
Sorry.
That sounds like
I
something.
pointed to your shirt.
It sounds like there's something
It's not-
inside
it doesn't-
happening
it doesn't have
about
the
her
same-
pointing to her shirt.
it doesn't have the same effect as when you point to your shirt.
Imagine
No.
that.
But
Don't
guys,
believe
let's get into Roadblock. So this was supposed to be the special event that, no pun intended, was supposed to create a roadblock on the road to WrestleMania. And we had a show full of great matches, but nothing really changed.
Nothing at all, actually. Except Dean Ambrose looks a little stronger to like the 5 people who didn't think Dean Ambrose wasn't a contender for the world title or would look great in front of Brock Lesnar.
I feel like they did this show maybe to get a lot of people to get the network to get Dean Ambrose versus Triple H, and I feel like they got this maybe for all the people that can get March for free. Because if they get the network just to watch this show for the first time, they're getting March for free, thus not having to get WrestleMania for free in April.
Right, they would have to pay for WrestleMania.
Exactly. So I think they kind of put this in show, aside from other reasons. Obviously,
Yeah.
we get a typical network special every few months, So, I mean, overall, I thought it was a great show.
I thought the show was really good too. The thing is, I wasn't expecting Dean Ambrose to win the title, but I was expecting something to happen to alter one of the matches.
I thought
And we'll
the
get
first
into
match,
it.
I thought the first match was going to do that.
That's what I thought too. And now apparently I owe Jimbo a rap about his Young Bucks DVD.
Yes.
Yes. Is that happening now?
That's not happening now. I've had less than 24 hours to write something to Bop. I have to rap to the Hanson song. You know how upset I am about this? I can't win any prediction thing ever.
Can you hit me up Friday morning when you've done it so I can cut it up and put it on Facebook and Twitter and make sure everybody sees it?
Perhaps.
Make it go viral? Make
Perhaps.
you internet famous?
Aren't I already internet famous?
Hello.
I got
Make you-
T-shirts, man.
Make you more internet famous?
Chrissy, your overall thoughts?
Well, whatever they were trying to do, it did not go over well. I feel like if this was meant to make us more excited about WrestleMania, then there needed to be a title change. Or I really loved the idea that the Divas match all of a sudden was becoming a title match, and I thought maybe that one would change hands. Like, you're right, something needed to happen.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to say boring, but
It was
It wasn't boring
It was a
by any
house show.
means.
Like if I were,
It was a glorified house show.
if they were at the Staples Center last night, minus Triple H wrestling, this would have pretty much been the house show they would have put up. Mm-hmm. Like Natalia
And
Charlotte.
Lesnar.
Yeah, like Triple H and Lesnar. Or no, I think Lesnar would have worked a house. Like heading into WrestleMania, Lesnar would have worked a house show at the Staples Center.
He worked Friday in Montreal.
So
I didn't even know
like,
that.
he's working some dates that's not even unrealistic. The only thing that was unrealistic about this is a house show is Triple H.
I mean, I just like the whole intimate atmosphere of these kind of events. Obviously, like I think I was a little disappointed with the New York show. I thought that they have a little bit more ability to be a little bit more creative with these live events. But yeah, like you said, essentially it's a house show just being shot.
Yep.
Also, WWE, if you need somebody to run the house show report for you every week, I will do it for free. That's just up there for you. You have my Twitter.
Do they? Have you handwritten it to them?
They have my Twitter.
Okay.
I will. If you see me a month from now on the WWE Network house show report, it's because I'm doing it for free.
Oh, boy.
Because of what I said right here, right now.
Oh, here it goes. All right. Let's get into the actual show. We start off with the Tag Team Championship on the line. New Day defending against League of Nations members Wade Barrett and Sheamus. First off, not only are we learning more about the fun cereal Bootios, we now have a cereal box,
Yeah, we do.
and they need to start selling this.
They do. They're selling the box.
Because Bootios...
But are they selling cereal in the box?
No.
no,
They're
it
selling-
even says on the bottom left of the box, no cereal inside.
Yeah, that they're selling the Bootios t-shirt in the box. So they ship you a box, and then the t-shirt's inside the box.
I think
That's
it's funny
really
'cause
cool.
I don't think they sell the box by itself because I know the shirt by itself is like $23, and then to buy the shirt with the box,
It's
it's like
$35.
yeah.
I was going to say, please tell me it's like 40.
it should be
It goes up another 17
And they
bucks
also
for the
mentioned
box.
the box is a collector's edition.
because Bootios they make sure you ain't booty. Oh, you're so disappointing, Christy.
sorry.
You're supposed to say that.
I know.
Let's try it again. Bootios they make sure
You ain't booty.
All
Well,
right, all right.
Wait. No,
Listen,
time it. That was even
Power
worse.
of positivity.
That was even worse than not saying
Listen,
it.
you guys, I'm getting a little bit tired of the shtick and the Bootios and the whole
Get out.
I know everybody loved it. I know everyone's gonna be mad when I say that, but like I'm like a little bit ready for them to do something.
Here's something I was tired.
Like everybody bought the shirt, we bought the box. It's probably sold out, like you said.
I feel like
Now
this is a
let's do
breakup.
something else.
I feel like we're breaking up now, even though we weren't dating.
I'm sorry. It's gonna be painful, honey. Yeah, give it a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So you're definitely not chanting New Day rocks.
I mean, I'm just saying they do rock, and I'm ready for them to rock in a new way.
So you're selling your New Day stocks. Is what you're saying.
yeah, that's exactly.
Do we
what
have a
I'm
rim
saying.
shot for George?
I am New Day shocked right now.
Oh God.
Steve's left. Steve
You
has
guys are
left.
cheesier
He
than
has
they
left
are.
over the puns. He has walked out of the studio and still somehow stomping at the same volume. Come back to the set, Steve. I thought this was a really competitive match. I was entertained by it.
But
I was pissed that there was no Rusev and Del Rio. This is the worst group ever. They're never all together. It makes no sense.
Rusev squashed Sin Cara in Atlantic City, and then did Del Rio do anything? Del Rio got beat by Kalisto in Atlantic City.
Well, and I got no problem with them throwing. There was a house show at the same time in Atlantic City.
Yeah, I'm just.
And that's fine. But if part of your stable is on this network special, you all should be there.
But I think that's the intention of this stable, is that these guys don't want to be there all the time.
I mean, they do kind of emphasize a lot where like there's these individual guys, you know, with coming together. Were they comparing them to the Four Horsemen for a second?
A little bit. They're an
I
interesting.
don't remember hearing that, but I want to slap whoever said that.
I think it was JBL.
There are two.
Oh, but I love JBL. I don't want to slap him.
He was all wound up.
He was definitely wound up last night. But there are two groups in the WWE right now that fit that mold of that we're people, we don't necessarily get along with each other, but we have a common goal. And it's the Social Outcasts and the League of Nations. That's
The Social Outcasts aren't BFFs?
No, they're not.
I feel like the League of Nations are.
But they're
go
all
like
around
this.
together.
They all
They're
go
always
like this.
still together.
That's fair. But
Each
all
week
go
they
like
pick
that.
a different thing.
But one thing that did bug me a little bit about this match was Sheamus and King Barrett obviously heels, meaning the New Day, who are typically a heel group, have to be a face group, which is fine because they get cheered anyway.
Let me guess. The corner that they were on. The corner that they were on?
Oh, actually, I didn't think of it
Because
that way.
usually,
but
typically,
they're-
the face is camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't think about that, but you're right. They were in the face corner as well. But I was saying that like the heels did the face moves and the faces did the heel moves all night in this match.
Yeah, because the match ends with Barrett has Big E pinned to like the count of 8. Xavier Woods is distracting the referee. This pisses Barrett off. He then turns into a big ending. New Day retains, even though I should have won the bet with Jimbo because Barrett had Big E pinned. But New Day still retains the titles. I was ready for that. This, to me, like we were saying at the very beginning of the show, George, this, to me, I thought was going to be the one wrench because there's no tag title match announced yet. So you could have, all of a sudden, this house show, new tag champions, New Day gets their rematch at Mania. And then it's more so them as the faces then.
Yeah,
Although they did announce for Raw, Del Rio and Rusev against the New Day. So maybe that's where
Oh, it's
they
going
might
to be
do
the other two.
yeah. The other two might
They
do
might
it on a
maybe
Raw.
do the title change. I don't know. Again, I'm kind of curious where they're going with this whole thing toward Mania.
They're hitting the zero hour, but they still have time to not have the tag team division be a joke at WrestleMania again. And by joke, I mean like a get everybody in there kind of a match. If you want the tag division to look strong, it should be the New Day facing another team that looks strong, and then maybe have all the other tag teams in another match.
The strongest team other than New Day right now is League of Nations, sadly.
Then
You got Dudleys and Usos busy with each other. They're not looking at the title. Lucha Dragons keep losing to the League of Nations.
and they should be breaking up. And Kalisto should be above it
Kalisto
all.
does have a singles title.
He's going to take Ryback's advice.
Primetime players are nowhere to be found. Ascension are
Even when he was there, before he got suspended, I feel like they already were not
So
teaming
they stopped
together.
him.
Yeah, they
Even
pretty
before O'Neal got
Yeah,
suspended.
well, Darren Young had been injured.
But no,
So-
there was that one event where, remember the pre-show for Royal Rumble? Wasn't it Darren Young and Jack Swagger teaming together?
Sandow.
Or Sandow?
Sandow, yeah.
Sandow, yeah.
That it was
That was
literally
the Rumble one, yeah.
And that was you're right. That was before Titus O'Neil was
Yeah.
suspended, so they could have teamed them. They just didn't. Point taken. Point
Yeah.
taken. They should have an everybody get in here match at WrestleMania for the tag team titles because that tag team division is where it is every year right now. There's 2 teams.
And they wish it was like the NXT tag team division right now,
I know, right?
which we're going to get to.
Yeah.
But now we got to talk about Chris Jericho versus the real American Jack Swagger. Jericho goes to the ring, and only Chris Jericho, because he's so freaking good, can go to where he's treated like a god in Toronto and crap all over the city for him to get booed.
He was selling snow to an Eskimo there.
Yeah.
I just wanted him to go on the mic and be like,
Literally.
I'm from Winnipeg, you idiots.
I wanted that too.
Well, he mentioned that Toronto is the anus of Canada.
Which is untrue. I've been to Toronto. Toronto is Gotham if Batman did his job. For those who've never been, that's what Toronto is.
Wow.
It reminded me of The Rock's promo when he was in Toronto 13 years ago, the day after No Way Out. 2003. He's like, oh, Toronto, blah blah blah, faster than a bear, bigger than a buck, the biggest thing in Canada because the Maple Leafs suck. And then and then apparently like they worship the Maple Leafs, but he did something I've never seen before, where they booed him for like 2 minutes straight without him saying a single word.
Yeah,
and that's pretty impressive if you really think about it. To not say anything for 2-3 minutes and just him be booed just like that.
Yeah, and I mean, Jericho, whatever role you want him to be, he's so damn good at it. And it's crazy. You would think by now he's been in the WWE for 17 years. He's been 99 when he debuted.
August 9th.
Almost 17 years.
What, Christy?
He's the encyclopedia of sports entertainment. Plus his time in WCW, plus time in ECW, plus time in Japan.
Which
And
they acknowledge.
he doesn't skip a beat.
Nope.
And lose a step. He doesn't. It's amazing.
I feel like people like him, they need more like him because I think he takes it so serious. Where the fact that when he's a heel, he says, "If I'm a heel, don't make me T-shirts. I'm going to start wearing." So like he really goes all the way.
Yeah.
And in a profession that's very work-ish, you got to go all the way if you want to get to the top.
Yeah. But now here was the problem with this match. So they're putting them up against Jack Swagger, who for one we haven't seen in months. So that's weird to begin with. Number two, you're bashing Canada over and over and over. Well, then we should have some wrestler that is not from America, ideally Canada. If it's got to be UK, that could still work.
Well,
To be there,
Canadians
so the
are still
crowd,
subject to the crown.
Right.
That would make sense.
so the crowd will cheer for them. Instead, we give them the most American wrestler on the roster.
Well, the most United States wrestler on the roster, because Canada's America's a continent. I'm sorry.
I hate you.
I just couldn't let that slip.
Thank you, Steve Kaufman.
I mean, I agree. When he
Yeah.
kind of name dropped
Yeah.
Jack Swagger, I'm like, oh,
I'm like,
God.
why do they name Swagger?
And then
I was thinking, why
hit
did they
his
name
music.
it?
It would have been perfect for someone like Neville, or maybe
Yes.
even like Kalisto, maybe in like a non-title match for it to happen.
Sure.
Et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I was a little disappointed.
Out comes Swagger, and the crowd goes mild.
Yep.
No one gave a damn about this match. If this is the perfect definition of a house show match. If this was on Raw, this match would have been tops 3 minutes. This match went about 12.
7:54.
Oh,
It
well,
felt
it felt long.
like-
It felt
like 12.
longer.
And I know,
feel like
I know,
12.
I know they really tried too, because I know they were like, "Oh, remember back in the day when Jack Swagger beat Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight title?
When he
This
cashed
is-
in his money
This
in
is
the
his
bank."
revenge,
They didn't mention he cashed in Money in the Bank after Jericho was beat up. That's why he beat him.
Or not to. I'm surprised they were mentioning it all. Jack Swagger, former world heavyweight champion.
Dude,
Now-
Jack
and-
Swagger looked strong last night. He
well, yeah,
looked
because they
good.
gave him time.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not trying to knock the guy's talent. The guy's a good wrestler. They never use him. He can't
and-
talk.
And they never put him in a position to succeed.
Right.
Having Jericho cut a promo on Canada, and then have him come out and with the still real American gimmick that has nothing to do with the promo.
Yeah.
He's not going to defend the honor of Canada.
Unless he had a microphone and said, tonight, I'm representing all of North America.
And then teach the kids a little
Sure.
geography.
Yeah. Why
Any
not?
of that.
Why not?
None of that happened.
I disagree. I think they've given Swagger every opportunity to get over, and I think when I see Swagger, I just don't see believability.
Really?
Yeah.
Last night he was pointing and pounding and
It just
Yes.
there's
giving
something
it
about him.
110%.
There's just something about him that is just not believable. It's like for me, I think guys like Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero came in handy, and Chris Jericho as well. When as far as like, I think let's say you put Angle put together with Swagger, I think you can build so much more credibility for Swagger. I think that's what they're missing nowadays. So I just think he never had that with anybody.
Well, because they never put him there. He's been a victim.
They gave him the world title.
You know what they could have done here? I mean, again, it could have been, clear that Jericho's going to win, but give a guy an opportunity and a guy for the crowd to get behind. You give him an NXT guy. Say a Ty Dillinger, who isn't he from Canada? There you go.
Okay, that's how I thought. That's when I saw Jericho cut that promo, I thought. Because I still, by the second segment, I was still holding on hope. That it was like, because I had been saying all this week that I was like, no, Fastlane was actually a roadblock. And the roadblock is actually going to be a fast lane. it's gonna be switched. This is gonna set everything in motion. And I was still holding on that hope that I was like, no, they're gonna debut someone, and then we're gonna get really excited.
So we thought George and I thought a title was going to change. You thought someone was going to debut.
I thought somebody was going to debut, or like something was going to happen to just reignite our excitement for the show, for WrestleMania,
Right.
which is what these both Roadblock and Fastlane should be doing.
Yeah.
Instead of being shows unto themselves, they should be like, no, these are great shows that will be huge advertisements for the big show,
Yeah.
not the wrestler.
Yeah. Well, Jericho wins with the Walls of Jericho. Crowd did not care. I
No,
mean,
they were screaming for CM Punk the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, that
happened.
was stupid. That was just.
Isn't
stupid.
it always stupid when they do that?
Well, 3 years later, however long it's been.
They got better at the main event when they were chanting, and you can clearly see, "Boo, dude, get over him."
Yeah.
I did like that.
My favorite is still when AJ Lee was wrestling on the Raw after Mania.
Yes.
People started chanting Punk, and I started booing. They're like, "No, AJ Lee,
Yeah.
AJ."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, she's finally getting over. Now she's going to retire."
Well, I think she may have noticed that and decided that was her moment to retire.
Yeah. Finally, I got them done. Check.
From there, we go to the NXT Tag Team Championship on the line. They give a nice video package, hyping it up. The Revival, Dash and Dawson, defending against Enzo and Cass. Holy crap, did the roof blow off when Enzo and Cass came out.
Yeah.
That was, I'm going to say that was the second largest pop of the night. And you'll hear my largest later on.
You know
buy
what's
that.
funny? I think the acoustics were a little off. I just think that some of the crowd, because it wasn't a made-for-TV or made-for-pay-per-view kind of show, you can still hear it. I just think if it was the Raw or pay-per-view regular setup, I
Yeah.
think you would have heard it even louder. Which, by the way, second tag team title match. Do you guys know when the last time there were 2 different tag team title matches on the same night, on the same pay-per-view?
That was going to be during
bet
the
you do.
brand split.
Or-
so that would have
yeah.
been maybe like 2009, 10, somewhere in that area.
Close.
Get there. Bring us.
Well,
bring us, George.
obviously they merged.
gonna be maybe a
they
Mania.
merged at Mania 25 when it was Carlito and Primo against Miz and Morrison. But it was before then where they actually had both title matches on the same night.
Rumble 2000 or
This
whatever
one,
year that was.
if you really think about it, it should be easy. 2009 WrestleMania 25. So probably I'm gonna go with Night of Champions 2008.
Well, if I remember what pay-per-view was before Mania in 2009.
Well, I'm just saying.
That would have been an elimination.
I don't know
chamber.
these
Well,
things.
That would have been an elimination
Night of
chamber.
Champions would have been, okay, well, it has to be one of those. Then now I got to figure Night of Champions 08 and between Mania 25.
Well, George, I've actually been sent a Stump George question.
But we got to talk about the match. Dude, what a great match.
Oh, you're afraid you're going to be stumped?
Well, first off,
I don't like Steve's questions.
this match.
That's not my question.
How
this
many
match-
slammies?
This
I'm not
match
over
to
that.
me is match of the night by a long shot. To me, I thought this match was far better than any other match on the card. I thought it told a great story. Crowd was into every
Charlotte
second.
and Natalia's
Charlotte
match
Natalia
of the
was
night.
great.
Yeah, okay,
Charlotte Natalia was great.
We'll get there. I think there were 3 amazing matches. So
Yeah.
for anybody to really think any one of those 3 is the match of the night, I think it just goes to show that how good the show
Yeah,
is.
that's what I'm saying. The matches tonight, that show tonight, it was last night. The matches were phenomenal. No pun intended to AJ Styles, who was not there. He was in Atlantic City. But there was something about, I think maybe it was just the fact that the crowd was just so into it. And again, this is a test for NXT guys. You're like, okay, how will you do on a WWE show in an arena that's not where you normally perform in front of a lot more people
Yeah.
than you normally perform
Because
in?
this is literally the biggest match of all 4 of those people's career.
It was bigger than Barclays.
I would say Barclays was probably bigger.
But were they weren't fighting
But
for the
the
title. at
stakes
Barclays.
were,
Not for
or
the
maybe
title.
maybe
Yeah,
even,
higher
maybe
stakes.
even London though. Arguably, maybe
Oh,
Toronto
maybe.
or London.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But first off, I love the fact that Cass literally was throwing Enzo like 10
It's
times
perfect.
everywhere.
It's everything.
It's his lawn dart. It was
I-
great.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like, I don't
saying. It
have
was
anything
great.
like-
Yeah.
That's it.
Obviously, I mean, none of us cover the NXT show, so one of the things I always want to do is talk about some of these guys, and I truly
Yeah.
love Dash and Dawson.
I
These
100%
guys
agree.
are so like throwback, current, like all the above.
If Arn Anderson got to tag with Arn Anderson.
I think Arn and Tully. I think
Yeah,
they're
it's
the
completely Arn and
brainbusters
Tully.
completely. Like just their style, their greediness, like a combination of them, the Dudleys, like like in 2001. Like I think this team is so legit.
My 2 favorite people between WWE and NXT to watch right now are Scott Dawson and Chad Gable.
I buy that.
I'm so into how they wrestle. Dash is phenomenal as well. And yeah, it's just the hardened. They come out in those like 80s jackets, and they don't really do a whole lot of posing. They're heels, but they start walking, rip the jackets off, and charge to the ring still, which is a little different.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch them. And then your complete opposite style characters of Enzo and Cass, who are just beyond entertaining. This was a great match. I thought this match was better than their Toronto match. Or not Toronto, London match.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I agree.
And, I mean, I was ready. I'm like, well, if New Day didn't lose the titles, all right, let Enzo and Cass win. But they didn't.
I was thinking about that too, where like maybe if they had, and I don't read spoilers at all, so I don't know. Maybe if somebody would have put out there that because there's still 2 or 3 more NXT shows until NXT Dallas.
Yes.
And then I know it's all taped in advance, so I think it would have got out somehow. Had maybe like, oh well, Enzo and Cass showed up at the tapings with the belts, or I don't know. It just kind of made me think like, oh, maybe they're not gonna win,
or at least. Although they do TV tapings, but they don't. The context isn't always clear. Like when they do
true.
the TV tapings, so it wouldn't have.
That's true.
They would have been able to just have 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks of segments without the tag titles mentioned or talked about. That if they wanted to make that change, they could.
No.
That said, they didn't win.
No. Chrissy, what did you think of this one?
I thought it was great.
Okay.
That is Christy Olsen with the expert analysis, everybody.
The thing about Enzo and Cass that always strikes me is I'm just so kind of enamored with watching them, and I think that their shtick is so cheesy, and it could so easily not go over, and they could so easily just like biff it, and it could be horrible, and it just never is.
Because
Like,
that
they
just
pull
shows how
it
good
off.
they are.
So, yeah.
Because
And I need distinct characters. I need that, and I love them.
I compare them a lot to D-Generation X in the sense that on paper, like if you had never seen D-Generation X, then I told you, all right, so there's these guys. They come out and they say "suck it," and they're like, "Wait,
I'm shocked and appalled.
wait, they're telling everyone in the arena to suck it? Suck what? What is?" And then they just do these comedy skits, and then they sometimes wrestle. Like on paper, D-Generation X makes no sense. All the way down to D-Generation X. It's a degenerate. It's a degeneration. I don't get it. So, and same with soft. Like I don't actually.
No, I'm sorry. It's pronounced soft.
Soft. Sorry. I don't
we'll
actually.
let you East Coasters take
I
that
don't
one.
like that catchphrase on paper, but with them it makes complete sense, and I love everything about it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what this means for Carmella.
I think she's gonna come up with them.
She
might come up with them, but she's also doing all right by herself too. So I don't know what they do plan on doing with her,
But she could come up with them and then still stay down in NXT.
Drew, that's going to be
That happens a lot.
I mean, some people do that. It's a ridiculous travel schedule, but
I'm sure she can handle it.
yeah.
And it would be worth it.
I mean,
Oh, sure.
with Dash and Dawson, like I'm always worried about this kind of team and seeing how well it translates to the main roster. That's
They
why
will.
Well, we say that now. We probably said the same thing about Tyler Breeze and Bo Dallas. Not that it's their fault in general, you know. I'm saying obviously we've seen the track record. So I got my perfect booking sheet and I got inspired because like sometimes they come out with those red, jackets or those brainbuster red things.
Yeah.
I say put Eva Marie as their valet. Say, hey, Eva Marie, stop training to be a wrestler. You need to study Sensational Sherry. Because her as a manager is, I think, leaps and bounds completely underrated. We all talk about Heyman and Heenan. I think Sherry's up there as well.
Sure.
So if she's going to study Sherry, learn how to be a manager, and then boom.
No, she's put a lot of work in. She's looking good. She looks better all the time. She should not stop wrestling.
You can always do
Nor
both.
should come
You
out.
The
can do
only
both.
person who thinks that.
I know I am. I know.
No. I will say this. Just her being with like in NXT and whatever she's doing, you can just tell her whole presence and confidence is just way leaps and bounds than what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. She got to be on a poster as well.
She did.
She got to be on a poster for a pay-per-view that she was
No,
not.
she was not.
Not even at. I'm pretty sure she was
That's
not.
not the first time that's happened.
I know.
Diva's title on the line. Not scheduled to be on the line, but then from an interview earlier in the day, it became on the line.
Also, speaking of NXT stuff, I do want to give. There's a real quick stump, George.
Thanks for completely cutting me off on this match.
Because I needed to get.
Who wants to talk
Go
about
ahead.
the divas?
That's the question. That's the question. I'm ready. Bring it to me.
Let me. Lorenzo.
Oh, now you not even have it ready.
Lorenzo Haynes on Twitter asked George what was the first event broadcasted live on the WWE Network and what was the main event.
NXT Arrival. Bo Dallas and Neville for the
I
Meta
told
match.
him you'd know that.
I knew
That's
that
all that
one.
was. That's what I said.
Give me something that nobody else knows.
No, because then you complain that it's too hard. There's no
Well, no, 'cause then
I just think the slimy question was ridiculous.
Get
Nothing against
over it.
Steve. I just think like, oh, how many slimes is this person? I don't know.
Fair enough.
It's like how many
I
VMAs somebody has.
try my best to not give you number questions.
Hey guys, can we talk about the Divas title match now?
No.
Yes, please.
please.
Okay.
I knew it would be that fast, so I knew I was just trying to.
Charlotte defending against Natalya. Again, we want to talk about great matches.
I thought
This match had
phenomenal.
Did you have the time on this one, Steve?
13:37.
I was going to say it was close
This
to
is
15.
the second longest match of the night.
Great match. Crowd. Maybe it was partially because Natalya, Canada. Maybe that helped into it. But the crowd ate this match up as well.
Also, Natalia's amazing.
Oh, well,
Well, yeah.
Like,
yeah, that is there too.
I've been saying for months, like I've been curious why she hasn't been on TV.
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah, like why she hasn't been focused on this way, especially in the middle of a Divas Revolution.
Because she's like the oldest diva.
Is that ageism? Is that why they're not using her?
Well, if you're talking about Revolution, bringing up new people, they won't necessarily use one of the oldest ones as part of that revolution.
Well, revolutions just change. It doesn't matter who's bringing about the change. Anyway,
Well,
and
so,
Natalya was also an NXT diva.
so did we think that Natalya maybe had a chance to take the title last night?
No.
I almost did. This was the first match watching in a really long time that I felt like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this could really happen. Maybe she could pull it off. It made me realize how unexcited I've been by some of the matches that have been happening lately because I got so excited about this one. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing a lot of the same matchups over and over again, so-and-so versus so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. And it's easy to get over those things. But Charlotte and Natty can put on a good match. I mean, again, I could watch them every single week. And
I mean, they had a fantastic match.
Yes.
Was it
In
May
NXT
of
also.
2014
Yeah.
for the vacant NXT title?
Yeah.
That match is phenomenal. So when I actually you texted me like, and I wasn't watching live, you're like, that was great. So so I was like, what are you talking about? And I'm not watching live, by the way. And then so I'm like, wait.
He gets mad when I spoil him,
So
so I
when
have to
she
feel it out.
texted me like about an hour and a half into the show, I'm like, well, we're about an hour and a half into the show. She must be talking about the women's match. So I had high expectations, and honestly, they completely lived up to it.
Yeah, this was match of the night for me. I'll flat out say it.
I agree.
I thought that before the event was even done. I was like, well, that's going to be it, you know. The guys could just hang out back there and take a rest. Rest up for WrestleMania.
Wow. That-
Just saying.
Yeah, really, really fun match. Like we said, they gave them the time. The crowd was into every second of it. There were a few moments where it was just like, hey, wait, maybe Charlotte might lose. No.
Because even
told
so,
that
like they can
story.
always do, like you said, like they can always do like a title change today, and then they can always do it on
have-
Raw.
Fix it on Raw.
Yeah.
Or
Well, not fix it, just have it go back.
Yeah, have it go
Like,
back.
they've done
and
that
then
before.
Put
Yeah.
Natalya in the picture, or get Charlotte out of the picture, or get somebody else out of the picture. Meanwhile, in Atlantic City, we had another what sounds like a good Divas match. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks beat Tamina and Naomi.
Sure.
Ooh.
Okay.
That also sounds like a good match.
Flair distracted Natalya. Charlotte rolled her up with feet on the ropes, retained the title.
Again, the same thing they've been doing, but it was entertaining.
That's
Yep.
Ric Flair will win the Slammy for Manager of the Year.
Wouldn't it be Valet of the Year?
Please, Kiddis. I would love for it to be Valet. I would actually love for him to be nominated as Valet of the Year with like someone like Carmella and Eva Marie, and like,
Yes.
like he gets nominated among other valets.
Yeah.
That he's not a manager, he's a valet.
Now comes the part of the show that I was not happy with. This was the one I read. Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt.
Which
First
is,
off,
you were advertising.
It was not Bray Wyatt. It was Luke Harper. Again, like we talked about earlier with League of Nations, there was no Rowan or Strowman. They were in Atlantic City. They're known as the Wyatt family. You're talking about League of Nations before, all of them individually. That's not the case with the Wyatts.
No, not at all.
They are all together all the freaking time.
They exist to be a family.
Yes. You have Bray come out, cut a promo, and then run and hide behind Luke Harper. And Bray runs away from Lesnar.
You could say backs down.
No.
He
ran
turned
away.
around and walked really quickly to the back.
While continuously looking behind him.
This is the same Bray Wyatt we all had a bit of a nerdgasm for last Monday when he stood toe to toe with Triple H and just glanced at his title.
Yep.
And we were like, "Oh, he's a contender for the world title. Oh my god." But it was also the same Bray Wyatt who probably a month ago the whole Wyatt family ran away from Ryback. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just inconsistent. It's inconsistently booked, and if you were to call them out on it, they would just be like, "Well, he's an agent of chaos." They're using it as an excuse, not a character trait.
I mean,
is that the excuse for all behavior? Can I just be an agent of chaos?
she
just does whatever she wants. She's an agent of chaos.
Christy, the agent of chaos. Awesome. The match of Lesnar versus Harper was pretty much how I thought. Harper got some shots in, but otherwise it was 7 German suplexes and an F5, and Lesnar in a bona fide squash, almost a squash.
Well, let's be fair. This was a 2-on-1 handicap match
that Bray never participated in.
That Bray never stepped into the ring for.
He could have even broke a pinfall attempt.
Looked like he was afraid of Paul Heyman.
Well, the speculation is that Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar is being saved for post-Mania.
Then don't advertise it. I agree. This was the match I was actually looking forward to the most, and for it not to happen, it was a little disappointing.
Because if you obviously have to put Brock Lesnar on the marquee, it's the Toronto show. It's a network show. Like, I get that you have to have Brock Lesnar out there. If you had advertised it as Brock Lesnar, Luke Harper, I would have still been excited. Just because I'm excited to see Brock Lesnar go out and just squash people, just as much as I am to watch him go out and have good matches. But to say it's going to be Bray Wyatt and it's going to be the culmination of an actual feud that they've been working towards for a long time, and I'm like, oh, that's great. And then, never mind. It's just Luke Harper.
Like, even if they would have had them two together and then maybe Brock winning by DQ or whatever, I would have been fine with that. Like, just to see that, because it's all about, like, styles. You know, obviously it's like you want to see one person with one style face another guy with another style and see how they mesh, you know. And then, I didn't even see that.
Well, it did answer the question as to why they've been shoving Luke Harper down our throats all week.
And I love Luke Harper.
I do too, but remember we were like, what's the deal?
Luke Harper's my favorite.
Why is he getting so much
other than
attention?
Luke Harper is my favorite non-Bray Wyatt. That made more sense in my brain, but yeah, like also, question for the panel.
No.
Perfect. Where do we see the Wyatts going at WrestleMania?
Losing to the Social Outcasts? No, I'm kidding.
Oh God!
I mean,
because the
rate they're going.
You have to remember, this is the same Bray Wyatt who this time last year was selling us on a match with The Undertaker
by himself.
The Undertaker did not show up till the actual match.
None of them are scheduled in any match. They haven't announced anything as far as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal yet. Maybe they're going to be in that.
Which you'd think they would have announced that by now.
You would have thought.
And my dark horse pick for that would be Mark Henry, because this is likely his last WrestleMania.
Right.
So they're going to try to throw him something.
Yeah, well, if that exists, Ryback's going to win that.
I say Bray Wyatt. I say Bray Wyatt wins.
Actually, he's going to be in the U.S. title match probably. So scratch Ryback.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Ryback.
I say it's going to be Bray Wyatt. It's probably winning the Andre the Giant.
Maybe. And hopefully they can do something with it.
Which is
you go from Cena to Undertaker to the Battle Royal.
Or to nothing, depending.
Or nothing.
Like,
we only got about 2 weeks.
But when you told me
3 weeks.
And when you told me the like Andre the Giant Battle of the Royal, I was like, man, that's beneath him. And then I went through the actual win-loss record of Bray Wyatt, and I'm like, on paper, that's not beneath Bray Wyatt at all. But that's a testament to who Bray Wyatt is on the microphone.
Yeah.
That I'm like, no. Anything that isn't the World Championship or Brock Lesnar or The Undertaker or John Cena is beneath Bray Wyatt. Which is just... Man, he's being successful in spite of them.
Yeah.
Well, post-Mania, I'm saying the Wyatt family is going to get a sister. So that's going to start a whole new thing for them.
Who do you think?
Sister Abigail.
But like...
Santana Garrett.
Okay.
Nah. She's too pretty.
No,
Bates.
she's got that dark look.
If we're picking it, it's going to...
It's going to be Wyatt's sister.
No,
Like her real sister.
She's a great host. She's going to be an on-camera personality.
She's a
That's
great
what she's
talker.
good at.
All right.
Anywho,
We're going to have this debate on Twitter later.
There's a girl on
for
TNA that's
Sami
actually pretty good.
Zayn, now you could have threw him against Jericho.
Would have been perfect, even if it ended in a schmaz.
Right. He goes one-on-one with Stardust. Now, this is a prime example, again, of a house show. Absolutely no story whatsoever in this match. There's no reason the two of them should be wrestling, but they gave them probably about 10 minutes. Do you have the time?
Yes. 12:33
Oh, wow.
is actually the
12 and a half minutes
is actually the third longest
for
match of
a
the night.
match with no story. Very entertaining match. But it's just like, oh, this is happening. Because there was nothing really to get behind, per se, because it wasn't building up Sami Zayn's feud with Owens. It wasn't building up Stardust with anyone.
It was just kind of
It was just there.
it was a hey, Sami Zayn's here, and we're all excited for Sami Zayn. And I guess if you didn't watch NXT, which I think is unlikely if you're watching Roadblock live on Saturday night,
Right.
more so than if this were like Fastlane. But like if you didn't watch NXT and you only watched the WWE product exclusively, Sami Zayn would have been the guy who broke his arm celebrating on the way to the ring to the John Cena match, and then you've only seen on TV like 3 times since.
Yep.
So this match could serve as, hey, this is Sami Zayn when we give him 12 minutes. Like, it's just these are all his moves. The Blue Thunderbomb gets a 2 count. This is his finisher, kind of. I'd buy that, and like I like that. But otherwise, I think they could have done something with him. They could have had him do the same 7 minutes and 54 seconds with Jericho. And Jericho could have won, or it could have ended in a DQ.
You could have had, well, again, then you would have to take someone off at Atlantic City, but you could have had either Owens come out to Zayn or AJ come out to Jericho.
Who they faced each other, but yes.
Right.
Yeah. It
Sami
happened.
Zayn, Haluva kick for the win. I mean, again, good match, but nothing really to talk about on it.
They did mention Hulk Hogan's name at one point during this match.
That was impressive.
Really? What did they say? I missed it.
I didn't hear that.
They were talking about his match against Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, and there was actually a bit of an awkwardness among the other two commentators when he said that. And it was also because he was like, WrestleMania, it's the thing. It's your favorite match. Everyone, of course, remembers Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior when they think of WrestleMania.
Okay, I remember that.
And I remember thinking, like, no, I think we all remember Hulk Hogan versus Andre. Like, we're talking most famous WrestleMania match ever.
Well, they were just talking about because they were in Toronto.
That's okay.
But real quick, speaking about the announcing, and I feel like Vince maybe wasn't there because I think Michael Cole was on point, and I always feel like whenever he's on point, I think it's because like
he sounded a lot more energetic.
yeah, even talking about like El Generico without mentioning his actual name.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught that too, but like wow, that's good old Michael Cole knows his stuff.
Well, Michael Cole is great at his job. It's just that his job Monday nights is to pitch us a network. Talk about what the guy said on Twitter. Talk about you can go on the app right now. Talk about how the network is $9.99.
Which, by the way,
pay-per-view's coming up.
Which, by the way, him doing that is not easy to do.
Not at all.
Oh, no.
He's one of the hardest working people
Absolutely.
on television because to be able to tell all of that and to tell the story in the ring the way Vince wants it, but the way we'll understand it.
And it's funny, I heard like on SmackDown, he's the guy in the headset talking to Mauro and Jerry and Byron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Like the whenever people jeer Michael Cole, I think they more or less jeer the on-screen character that Kevin Owens yells at.
Main event time.
Hooray.
Triple H, apparently for the first time in 7 years, defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Dean Ambrose. And it's crazy to think that he hasn't had that title in 7 years.
No, that makes
Because
sense.
it feels
to
like
me.
he never lost it.
It almost feels like he's been booking it the whole time.
So, a hard-hitting match, back and forth, but pretty much the main thing to talk about is the 3 count. That happened. But Ambrose's feet were under the rope.
The rules are the rules.
Do we think this is a botch?
No. I think that was planned.
We think that was planned, but do we think it was planned for Ambrose's feet to be more under the ropes than they were?
I don't know, maybe.
For once, I'm actually going to agree with conspiracy theory Steve. Because I think that the spot was there. I think the ref wasn't supposed to count to 3. And as soon as he counted 3, he was getting it. Damn it. Or not that I just said that Vince probably wasn't on set, but like, no, that's not the finish. That's not the finish. His feet was outside. His feet was outside. I think that's what I think. I think that was the plan for Ambrose and Triple H, but it wasn't supposed to be a 3 count.
Yeah, I think the
Like maybe he just was supposed to stop just before the 3
and
be
then
like, "No,
and
your
point to the
feet's on
feet.
rope."
So like he either accidentally hit a 3, and Ambrose's feet weren't very clearly under the rope. That maybe the ref got tripped up thinking that wasn't the spot yet, so that Trips was going to kick out. Whatever it is, by Monday they need to pivot and make this referee, whose name
John Cone.
They need to make John Cone the authority in the pocket referee.
Okay, now that's too much of a conspiracy.
No, it's not a conspiracy. I'm saying that they need to
because-
pivot because
And
they.
he's such a great
That's
ref.
Scott Armstrong is the guy that's in the referee
Yeah.
in the pocket.
But I'm just saying he needs to be the other one, or they need to like belay that doubt for a week. Like that's the story here because they didn't replay it. Like it was clearly something there, and the people who are fans of Dean Ambrose are going to be the people like me who are just like clinging
Well,
to something.
and
rules are the rules.
That was the biggest pop of the night. When that 3 count hit, crowd went nuts, and then literally in just a matter of like less than 5 seconds, they're starting to boo out the building because they're just like, and again, whether it was intentional or not for him to hit the mat on the 3rd count, the ref John Cone did phenomenal job overemphasizing things, going over the top. Because you need to do that in those situations, especially to get the crowd to understand, no, your feet were under the rope. I'm waving it off. I never signaled for the bell. No, keep going. And then just the look of Ambrose's face, he just kind of sat, just a shock look. Just like, I have a feeling someone's going to make a meme of that now. But it was great. And they continued to beat the crap out of each other. I loved the finish too. I mean, I know some people are gonna be like, that Triple H won clean, but
But that's what I think this spot did, whether intentional or not, is that Triple H didn't win clean. Dean Ambrose had a 3 count, and we could argue up and down that whether the referee was in Triple H's pocket or not.
he wasn't in his pocket. His feet were under the ropes.
Then why didn't they replay it? I think there was a mistake, but we're gonna move
Look,
on.
I think there's a mistake.
At the end of the
It
match,
was
they
too
replayed.
well
No, I think
orchestrated.
it was a mistake, but it's a mistake because they didn't want to replay. They just said, "Well, it shows that Dean Ambrose can get a 3 count," as opposed to he was so close. If it wasn't for his feet on the ropes,
that it show, and
But
it
I just
makes
don't.
it makes Triple H beatable, and I like that too.
Because that's why I think Ambrose is going to go over Brock, and then I think he's going to be the #1 contender when Reigns turns heel.
Could we please?
And Ambrose went through the announce table and pretty much jumped himself through it. Barely got in the ring just before the count of 10, and this is what I love because like there's supposed to be that moment in 99.999% of these matches when someone just gets in before the count of 10, the other wrestler is just like, "What? What do you mean?"
Not Triple H.
No, he knows what to do. He somehow got it. Pedigree pin. Loved it.
I love
Loved
that finish too, because it shows he has enough to stand up from going through a table after 10 seconds, but he didn't have enough to fight off a pedigree, and he definitely didn't have enough to kick out of a pedigree. That was a well booked finish.
Yep. And then the other thing that you could have done, obviously, I don't know what his health status is, but then you could have had Reigns show up. Because, like, now Triple H setting his eyes on Roman Reigns. Well, what if Triple H at the end of the match decided to try to pedigree Ambrose one more time and Reigns' music hit? And he just ran out. I don't know how he is with his nose yet, but he's got to get back soon. So you could have done that. Oh, the return of Roman Reigns, who's been out for a few weeks. Something different on the show. But we got pretty much everything that we thought we would get.
Yep.
Great matches again. Don't get me wrong. The actual action was fantastic. But nothing that made us go like, wow, I can't believe they did that. Or that's so cool they did that. I can't wait for Raw now to see what they're going to do based on that. We don't have any of that.
I remember back in the day when they still all those England exclusive pay-per-views, they would have title changes there.
Yes.
And then like on Raw, like Crash Hollywood beat William Regal for the European title. Then on Monday, Regal would win it back. Like
Because it would be that would give an urgency to the product.
Like anything can happen.
Yeah, that anything can happen, and you just can't miss it. Which I'm not going to harp on the whole product, but I think that's where they get hurt on a 3-hour Raw. Because if you're doing a 3-hour Raw and you're recapping everything that happened in the first segment in the first hour and the third hour, There is no urgency. There is no urgency to watch all 3 hours live. And it kind of shows in stuff like this. And maybe they're adapting to the market because, like, some people watch it live, some people don't. But I don't know. This, if you were to do the math, this would have cost me $3 or $4 of my $10 a month I was spending. And it felt like a $3 or $4.
Always doing the math.
And it felt like a $3 or $4 show, not a $10 show.
Not a $59.95?
Not a $59.95 show. I would have paid $44.95 for the SD version of this show.
Well,
No, you laugh.
that wraps up Roadblock. So now there's nothing stopping us from the road to WrestleMania. We got a few Raws and a few SmackDowns to go, and a couple main events, and like a Superstars or two.
And a Saturday morning slam.
Yeah. Don't forget about Sunday Night Heat and Velocity.
Didn't we, though? Pretty sure those things
George
are
doesn't
happening.
seem happy about this.
Pretty sure those are
I think he's
happening.
upset.
You forgot
we
about
Shotguns.
Livewire
Oh, I thought you meant
and
Shotgun Saturday
Shotgun
Night.
Livewire and Superstars?
Velocity/Jack/Middle. It was all the same, to be honest with you.
It was literally the same show.
Well, only a few.
Don't forget Super Astros.
I was going to say, don't forget WWF Mania.
Hosted by Todd Pettengill.
The great Top Pettengill.
And Stephanie Wine.
I forgot her. All right, we got to wrap this up.
I've lost them. I apologize.
Well, you guys can keep naming random WWE shows to us on various forms of social media. And, of course, talk to us about Roadblock and WrestleMania coming up. Steve Kaufman, how can people reach out to you?
People can reach out to me if they... Well, Kevin Thorne fell down. The people can reach
reaching
out to me
right now.
just like that. They can also find me on Twitter at Steve Kaufman. That is KAUFMANN. I do a couple shows here at AfterBuzz TV. I tweet about them regularly. And I will be in Dallas, Texas for WrestleMania. I'm just making George do all the weird hand things he's doing now. And yeah, I'll be covering it there.
All right, speaking of George, how can people reach out to you?
You can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation Network. I just created a cool wrestler. On G Hermosa, GHERMOZA. His name is Gorgeous George the 16th. I'll tweet you. I'll send you guys a picture.
Oh, please
Not
tweet
now,
me.
Steve.
Just go. Just go.
Please tweet me and follow me on Instagram at Christy Reports, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guessed it, at Christy Reports.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Ro Rosenberg, Instagram, the Ro Rosenberg, the t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. And if you're going to be in Dallas over WrestleMania, like Steve is, like Christy is, like I am, and like some other AfterBuzz people are, not George.
No.
You can watch me do some comedy with some wrestlers. Those wrestlers, you ask? You'll find out very, very soon. But if you go to DallasComedyHouse.com, that is where you can pre-order your tickets. Tickets are $15. It is Friday night, April 1st at 11 p.m. Must be 18 or older to go. Please go. We had an incredible blast at last year's in San Jose. We were supposed to go about 50 minutes. They had us go 90. So it was a lot of fun. Dolph Ziggler did it with us last year. We'll see whether or not he's coming this year. We don't know yet. Don't quote me on it.
Rusev sat behind me at that show.
Rusev was there. Lana was there. Sandow was there. Ryder was there. A couple of the refs were there. It was a lot of fun and funny. And you should go to this one, DallasComedyHouse.com. Buy your tickets today. And, of course, for all your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks for tuning in to the Roadblock After Show. For Steve Kaufman, George Hermosa, and Christy Olsen, I am Christian Rosenberg, and we will see you later.
Ooh, WB Confidential.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.